In this simple design for a rear garden, I have one layout space. So if we swing to it, there's a layout with a floating viewport. I'll select the floating viewport in that fashion there. So that floating viewport can be moved around and oriented, and I'm sure you're familiar with that. Let's first unselect all and return to the model. There might well be occasions, let's imagine you were specifying a series of fruit trees in and around this entertaining area and fountain at the back of the property. What you might want to do is to put some images illustrating the species that you are going to use in the design or have used in the design. And to do that, we'll create a new layout. So layout, and let's make a new one. It's called layout 2. And if we swing to layout 2, you can see we get another floating viewport. That gets created automatically, but we don't want it in this case, so we select it and erase it. Now it's gone. So we have a sheet of paper on which we can arrange some images. Before I do that, I'll go to drafting settings and I'll set my grid. I'll set up a 10mm grid here. This happens to be an A4 piece of paper, but the same would apply if you were working in the US. And I'll set my bold step to 5, and you'll see the result. Can you see now we've got some major grid points and some minor grid points. You know, if I put snap on by moving to the status line and put snap on, now I'm in a position to snap to those grid points. It makes drawing things like a rectangle with 2 points extremely easy. So you can just do that, and there's the rectangle snapped to the grid. So layout on the sheet becomes really easy when you use that sort of system. But I digress. What we want to do is to insert some raster images of some fruit trees. So here's a Duchess pear, so let's insert it, and we'll go OK. And can you see we can snap and set an image like so. There's that one in. We could repeat that same command, pick up Jonathan Apples and insert it in the same way. We might want to go a little wider here and do that. And if I roll out a little, can you see how that image is spilling off the edge of the paper? That's an effect you might want, so we'll leave it for the moment, but it would be easy to alter. Let's put another image in. We'll pick a peach and add it, insert it, not add it, insert it, okay, and again we'll snap and drop that in position. I wanted to demonstrate moving around, and you can see now how things line up. We can get rid of that rectangle that we put in there, erase, and what we might want to do is put a logo down the bottom. Maybe these images would come from a particular nursery and you don't have the logo for that nursery, so you can get away with just putting it in as an image. So we will insert it, and again using our grid system, do that, and then zoom extents. Maybe I might want to move that off and pop it down there and unselect all. Now I can turn the grid off, and at the same time I'd probably turn snap off and maybe even line weights off at that point. So can you see a really easy way of laying things out on a sheet? See how everything lines up left and across the bottom, and I'll pretend that that's an effect that I wanted, but I might want to square things up in the same way. So laying things out on a sheet, really easy. Use your grid, use your snap settings, and learn to use floating viewports.